we're called suddenly single. You don't have to be suddenly single, but it's about being single at some point in your life and dealing with dating or not podcasts, but dating apps and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
What's the longest you've been single?
Probably 3 months.
Is it really?
Or 4 months.
Since the age of 17, you've only ever been on your own for 3 months?
It might have been a bit longer.
Yeah, well, what don't you like about it? What don't you like about it?
I do like being single. No, I actually do love it. You could do what you like. You can sleep like a starfish, put what you want on telly.
Very true.
You can have your bath. You don't have to talk to anyone. You can go out with your friends. Don't have to come home a certain time.
But if you're dating a guy, they know that you're completely committed to them and you're not going to go out and party and cheat on them.
See, I've never been on dates. This is the thing. I never really have done dating. I've always met someone through someone and then gone for dinner with them in a group or not on my own because I'm a bit shy like that. I know it's really hard to understand what I'm like, but I couldn't just walk in a restaurant and meet a guy for dinner. I've never done that and I couldn't do that. I'd panic.
I think the problem is I do it differently to you because I'm not famous. I think the old-fashioned way of just knowing someone and meeting them like that is actually probably the best way. And when you go on these dates, probably 9 out of 10 of them you don't even fancy when you turn up. And it's exhausting and actually at my age quite depressing, to be honest.
Or if I'm on a date, I'm ending up rectifying everything that I'm not, what's been said, what they think of me. Because if you Google me, I'm nothing like Google. Or they have a perception of me. So I end up having to overcompensate. I'm not like saying I don't do this, and then I'm exhausted. So I can't be asked to talk about it because you've got to admit, if they go on a date with me, they're going to know who I am.
Yeah.
They know it anyway.
Yeah. And I'm always like, I'm so different when you actually meet me to how I'm portrayed, and it's so annoying and so draining to get them to know that. And I don't know if men meet me, they get intimidated because of what they read or what I've done. But when they actually get to know me, I'm just so normal, just normal.
Yeah, down to
earth.
I
think they think that when they meet me, they have to dress up and there's going to be all champagne and all that. Are you joking? There's like kids running around, or it's like there's people up, just cups of teas, watch telly, order a curry, or just normal.
Family.
I'm not pretentious, don't have security, and they're like, what, you go shopping on your own? What do you think I'm going to do? How do you think I'm going to get my shopping? I don't know what people think my life is like, but it's just normal.
Well, it's degrees of normal.
When I say normal, I'm normal, but what comes with me isn't normal. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a brilliant mum, particularly to Harvey.
Yeah.
You're an amazing mum and you're a lovely person, but clearly physical attraction is important to you, even the way you deal with yourself. You've had a lot of surgery.
I think I've got a relationship about my bloody body. And people say I've got body dysmorphia. Do you know, I always denied it, and I probably do, really. Yeah, I probably do. I'll probably tick that box as well.
So would you have another boob job?
Yeah, I want to go smaller, I think, because when you see pictures of me in the paper, not that I care, they always put the worst pictures in, and that's because they make more money for the paparazzi. And I think because I'm quite casual how I dress, you know, back in the day, if I'd go clubbing, I'd put the tiny little outfits, boobs out. Although I've had my boobs on, I never get them out unless it's for OnlyFans, but I don't get them proper out. So I've never done that and I never would. And I love getting my kit off in front of the camera. I'm an exhibitionist. I'm good at it. I love it. Until this day, you can get any 20-year-old, whatever, in front of a camera and I'll wipe out of them in a photo shoot. And that I am cocky on. I know how to work a camera. I don't know if it's to do with my eyes or something, because everyone says my eyes change. I'm like an animal in front of the camera. I just know what I'm doing.
You're very body confident.
I think they make me look bigger than what I am. I think when you've got big boobs, because I like tracksuits and stuff, they just make me
So why did you go for the big one?
Because I like it for me. It's weird. I do it for me. So I like to look in the mirror and think, yeah.
But your problem is different to, say, our problem, in the fact that you can find new dates to go on.
Like I say, I haven't been on many dates. Like everyone thinks I've been around, had a lot. I haven't even slept with that many people either. But I've been in long relationships. If you think I've been married 3 times, I know, well, the longest, both of them was 6 years, one of them. And the other one I got rid of as quick as I put a ring on my finger. I don't have one-night stands, don't sleep around.
I'm in the situation.
Are you serious?
I've explained the situation is that if I put a 15-year age gap for me, 51. That's 35 girls, never been married, want to have kids. Or 65 want to go on a saga cruise, cashing their pension in. So I'm in a really difficult...
You're the same as me because there's 15 years between me and JJ.
Yeah.
But I've never done the 15 years above me.
Yeah.
Because I always think they're grown when they put their socks on and won't have as much energy as me. Not about sexually, but...
No, but that is... Come on, that's the elephant in the room, isn't it?
No, but that
is the elephant.
That is the elephant in the room that you would like. Yes.
Yeah.
Not energetic, like I want sex all the time. You still got to have a sex life. But I mean, I can be quiet.
What's sex all the time, though? Because that's the thing, isn't it? I would rather go out with somebody a bit older that isn't demanding sex all the time.
This is the first time before I met JJ that I wasn't even looking. I always said, that is it now. I am exhausted with relationships. I try and try and try. I give everything I can and then I get used. I think they take advantage of my kindness as a weakness. I do everything. I pay for everything. I do the holidays. I pay for everything. I've never, ever, 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 till this day, ever had a man that's taken care of me.
Surely with Peter, though, he was earning money. He could have...
It was me who had more than him, and that sort of got in the way of the relationship.
So with JJ, just to remind everyone who doesn't know, he's the guy from Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
So how did you two get together?
I watched him on there and I thought, whoa. You know, the word, whoa.
So he ticks physically
so he
that
took the
look.
physical
And what I liked about him, because when you watch that show, anyone who's watched it, it is about relationships and you get to see what they're like.
Mm.
And I just thought, he's very quiet. But there's something about him. He's quiet, but there's something about him.
And what is that thing about him now?
But now I've met, so basically then he got diabetes and that's how I reached out to him.
Yeah.
If he didn't get diabetes, I would never have just messaged him. But then funny enough, when I did reach out to him, he had messaged me 2 years before, but someone must have deleted it because I never saw that message.
Wow.
So he actually did contact me 2 years ago.
Wow.
Because when I messaged him, he was like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed type of thing. I went, why are you embarrassed? He went, because I messaged you 2 years ago. I said, no, you haven't. I haven't got anything here. And he screenshotted it. And I said, someone must have deleted it. And I never saw the message.
What, to see if he could take you out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, got in touch. So that was that. So we must have meant to meet at some point. But anyway, even now, he's different to anyone. Some people might say he's quite vanilla for me. I don't care. Like, he's calm, kind, not on my case. He makes me laugh. There's I don't feel any agenda, no drama. He gets on with the kids. He lets me go to work, doesn't drive me mad. It's just easy. It's not like, oh no, they're ringing me, driving me mad. Like if I said, oh, I've got to go for lunch after, so I won't be home late, or I'll just see you tomorrow because I've got things to do. Like, okay, yeah, enjoy your day. Like,
but that's trust, isn't it?
But I've never had that. Mm-hmm. It's always been, why, who you with? Where you going? Who you with? Where you going? Why aren't you coming up? Why can't I see? Why can't I come and meet you? What job you doing? Who's there? Are there many men there? No. That's always been my relationships where I'm like, what can I do? What can I say? I better not say that in case that comes out, or this, that. Or if something's come out in the press, they think it's true when it's not. Or you're not wearing this out, you're not doing that. And now I'm like, I'm exhausted. So like, meeting JJ's just complete.
Was he taking you to dinner?
Yeah, he does. No, he does. No, yeah. And it's like, it's just calm. Peace, and I need that.
What's a red flag for you? What things would you now go and say, well, I'm not dealing with that again?
For me, personally, you've got to make me laugh.
So if they're really boring?
The looks and all of that. You've got to be attracted. Don't get me wrong. You've got to look at them and be attracted. There's got to be something you fancy about them. But then if they're not really that good looking, but they got this personality, you can fancy them with that.
Yeah.
But they can't be like really, really ugly.
What about family though?
They have to be very family orientated.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because family's important to me. I like it if you could go around theirs for a roast dinner.
Yeah.
Or go put the kettle on. Or like the same with my family. You
are one of probably the only guests that we've had so far that we could both say things to each other about you and we go, I didn't know that. You're like I don't know, you pack so much into your life. This week, What's your life like?
So I'm into serial killers and that. That's
Do you know what? When we knew each other in a former life, that you were massively into serial killers. You wanted to know how to write to people on death row. And
now he wrote to me, this guy. I get so many people who write to me random letters. They just write Katie Price, Mucky Mansion. I get all these letters. I'm like, okay.
That's genius.
Open this letter, and it was actually from a guy. It's called the Cannibal Costa Killer.
Okay.
You can Google him and you'll see. And anyway, basically, he robbed banks and all things like that in England, got arrested for it. So he went into hospital and to fix his hand, and he escaped. And then while he was in Spain, he met this woman at a coffee shop, and then met her 4 days later. And basically, I'm just saying it short, the story, because when I interviewed him, this is what got out of him. Met her, and because he had been abused as a kid, there's always a story why people do things, which is why I'm fascinated by serial killers, crime and stuff. But anyway, she got pissed and they were talking about being abused, and she sort of blamed him, took the piss out of him. So it triggered something. She was having her house done and there was like a hammer next to her, and he hit her over the head, killed her. And then basically he chopped her up. So then I interviewed him on Littlehampton Beach near where my mum lived. No security.
So he's out of prison now.
Out of prison. So he'd done his time in Spain. I think he'd done like 15 years or 18 years. And then they rearrested him when he got back in England because he had to do the crime for the robbing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been out 4 years, not long. And I couldn't wait to meet him and interview him. And I did on the beach. They didn't have security. It was just the camera. But obviously, they met him first to make sure, like...
Well, what, did he just want to explain to you why he did it? Or was he thought it was...
The reason I wanted to interview, he wrote to me because he felt I would understand. Because I think with me doing programmes like that, you normally see like Piers Morgan or Suzanne Reid or Trevor McDonald. They're sort of the ones you see interviewing. But they're more interested in why you've done the crime. What did you do? Whereas I'm more interested in childhood, you know, or what they've gone through there. Because there's normally a back case to why people have committed a crime or something. You don't just wake up and go, right, that's it, I'm going to kill someone. Or
don't you think somebody innately evil, though? Some people have it in them.
Some people definitely are evil. But, like, some cases, like, they've brought into trauma or abuse or something, which is, I'm not saying everyone, but most of them have had some kind of trauma in their life to make them like it.
Yeah.
And then so I like to interview them about all of that. Then the crime, what made them trigger and whatever. And then I wanted to know if you wanted to meet the families or anything you would say to them or, you know, things like that. Have they got any remorse? And then say, but when you're released, how do you expect to have a normal life? Because you can't lie to the next person you're with. And would you commit it again? How does anyone know you wouldn't do it again now you've done? Do you know what I mean?
God, he isn't dating, is he?
But he said, how can he get a job? After here, I'm going to the Priory because I always see my therapist there. Thank God I found a therapist after 45 years just to help because I've had trauma.
So where are you insecure then? You're not insecure with your personality. You're not insecure sexually. You're not insecure.
I don't
Where's
know what
the kernel of...
I think I don't know.
Is that why you're having therapy?
No, I have therapy to deal with trauma and the men, how they fuck my head up.
What is your first remembered trauma? What would you say is one of the things
being raped at 7 in a park. Although it hasn't affected me. Funny enough, I was saying it the other day, I still remember what the guy looked like, everything. The day, what the weather was like. That was probably the first trauma.
What was your coping mechanism for that, just to bury it?
The only time I cried about it was when Piers Morgan interviewed me. But when I've had therapy, we realised my downfall in life with everything is men. If you took men out the equation in my life, I would have no dramas, no problems, no nothing.
As a man,
there we go, Tim.
I'm crossing my arms, but now I'm crossing.
Speaking on behalf of the
is it the choice of men?
Yes.
It's not men, all men.
No,
it's the choice of men.
Exactly. So this is it. The choice of men I've always picked are toxic, narcissist, and I think it's because I've always been vulnerable and needy, and I've jumped to relationship. Not like they've always lasted the relationships, but not actually had a break or had boundaries. Never had boundaries in relationships. Just jump. You know, if a man's like, oh, you're so gorgeous, you're this, you're that. I'm sucked into that niceness because I've always been needy. Whereas now, and I've learned in therapy, boundaries are important.
Those are labels, though. But what does that actually mean? How would you
normally, like, if I want to go to work, a man doesn't have to come with me. They don't have to be in and out my pocket.
I think therapy's great. You know, everybody should do some therapy.
I just think, like, the way I look at it, if you've got a headache, you take a pill.
Yeah.
If your car needs petrol, you pull it in. If it needs an MOT, you get it tweaked. I just think we're the same. And I don't think you have to be on that list of being nuts to have a therapy. I think people think when you say therapy, people think, oh, they've got problems. Could be about anything. Even if you don't speak to a therapist, just talking about something, I think helps.
I call it a checkup from the neck up. Now, we have a goldfish bowl of truth, which are one-liner questions. Are you ready for them?
Just wanna get out of here. Woke up feeling good.
So what's this then? I'm reading.
So you got to open it, read it, and tell us the answer to this question, the truthful answer.
Ever proposed?
Have you?
Ever turned down a proposal? So what, have I ever proposed?
Yeah.
No, but I've always said, what if I proposed? And do you know why I wouldn't? Because I'm quite old-fashioned in a way that I just think a man's got to do it to a woman.
Right. Yeah, that's fair enough.
And have I ever turned down a proposal? Yes, I have. Many times.
Do you normally finish a relationship or leave it to the other person? Probably mainly finish it, but I have been finished with, definitely. Yeah.
I think as a man, I have to answer this differently. I've finished relationships and it's been finished to me. But I think when I finish relationships, it's really a woman making me finish it in a really clever way.
I was just going to say that's what I'm like. If I don't want to be with a man, I'd literally just push it and push it and push it till they finish.
Till they do it.
I don't like to just do the initial dumping.
When was the last time a partner bought you flowers?
Oh.
God, I don't know. Well, replace flowers with a thoughtful gift.
Yeah,
I've never
bought a man flowers.
Yeah, but that's probably about
chocolates.
Champagne and chocolate.
I'm always buying stuff, so that's a regular thing for me.
Yeah. Just wanna get out of here.
We're back, and we've got with us couples coach, Francine Kay, and she's going to talk to Katie about you being in a new couple.
Because you've got to get to know who this person is. And the quickest way to find out who a person is to find out what their parenting was like.
Really?
So if you say to somebody, so, when you were growing up, what was it like at your house?
And that I've learned that in therapy, that childhood, it all stems from
there.
You are.
So what do you want a man for? Why not just
my best friend?
But couldn't you have that with a girlfriend?
No,
because I like.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So you can't replace that.
But I want a man
to hold you, and it just is. Yeah, you can't replace that. You couldn't. A girlfriend can't hold you like a man can.
It's like I want a man to make me feel protected. I want a man. I'm not into women. I just want him to be my best friend, have a laugh with, cuddle up. I don't know, just do things of life experience and make memories. And I do ask questions. I put them on the mastermind chair.
Yeah, and what do you ask?
I like to know about their exes as well. I want to know everything so I can do more and better.
Well, with exes...
That's like a business... Oh,
no, there's a better question to ask with exes.
They can have... No, I need to be the one. If I'm with someone, I need to know, their exes look like, what they were like, what they argued about.
So you're really clever about relationships, though, about working out all those things.
Yeah, I like to know. See if I fit in, and if I can fit in, and if not, I'll make it better for them. You'll see you haven't met me yet. Hello, sunshine. Because every man's got a past. I'm not jealous. I'm jealous in a healthy way, that if I'm with someone, they're mine.
You ask them how it ended and why it ended.
Oh, I always ask that. Are you joking?
What made it end? What made it end? And then you hear about their character as well. So when she was like that...
was a psycho, or was it because you was a psycho?
Well, you can't just get away with psycho. Yeah. What was it that they did that upset you or you couldn't bear?
I always ask. I ask every question, and everyone's like, Kate, why do you want to know these answers? Sometimes because it might wind me up, but I want to know.
What are you going to change going forward with this guy that you didn't do, that you've done with all the others? What are you going to change and do differently this time?
What
if
am I
anything?
Doing?
From everything you've learned.
What didn't work before. just have my boundaries and be myself. And if I feel any kind of like, if my mind goes, I don't like that, or that, or how's this going, I'll just get rid of. 5 months, it's new. So if something's gone wrong now, then that's not really the future, is it?
Well, fingers crossed it
Yeah,
won't be. And on that
absolutely.
bombshell, we've got to let you go. Thank you very much,
Yeah, I've got
Katie,
to
for
go to
everything.
the Priory now.
Oh, my
The therapist.
goodness.
Thank you so much for coming in. That was
Thank
amazing.
you so
Yeah,
much.
you're
Right.
amazing, Katie. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Just wanna get out of here.
So next week, presenter Vanessa Feltz is moved to tears sharing her latest shocking dating disaster. She takes us behind the scenes of Celebs Go Dating, reveals why she doesn't use dating apps and why you don't want your bosoms hanging out on a first date.
I'm coming